Yeah, it was actually after watching this and Burn After Reading that I had texted Matt a couple days ago about how I've been basically become super jaded on my movie tastes nowadays, and I think it's in part due to the Coen brothers. But
Really,
yeah, I don't know.
that's crazy because I think this 3 film run that we just completed here is like probably like they're peaking right now. Like this is
Holy
good.
shit!
For Coens?
I totally disagree.
That's crazy. No Country followed by Burn followed
No
by Serious
Country's
Man.
good. Burn After Reading.
This is a good
We can
run.
just go into Burn After Reading.
Yeah,
I
mean,
guess.
we're talking Coens now, right?
Yeah.
It is like 3 years in a row. It's like 07, 08, 09.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that they just made these all back to back.
Pumping them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess Burn After Reading. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Seems like you hated it, Joe, for some reason.
I didn't hate it. I just I think my main gripes here. I'll just lay them all out. It's like from the Coen brothers here. Like, how many times can you make your main theme nihilism and infidelity, or related to those two concepts? It's literally every movie. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like since the 2000s hit, they've kind of just been making mediocre movies that are following those two concepts. And for this one specifically, I hated all of the characters. And I know that they're supposed to be unlikable, but I don't think any of them even had redeeming qualities to me.
Brad Pitt?
I just
didn't.
I fucking hated Brad Pitt. I didn't like any of the characters. They were always because of how the movie is, that none of them are going to have any growth as characters. So I don't know. It's just not what I like or what I think is good. And I don't know. I mean, in the key thing, I had messaged in the group chat, and basically when I know that it's supposed to be goofy, and it's even if somebody caught that, they're like, oh, it's supposed to be goofy because he uses fucking car key. But it is not properly conveyed that the locks have changed to John Malkovich or the viewer if he uses his car key to say that the locks have been changed, because he didn't even use the right fucking key. So at that point, your plot point's not even getting properly conveyed to anyone. Because he didn't even know, because he didn't use the right key.
Right. So was the lock actually changed, or?
That was what that scene was supposed to convey, that the locks had been changed, yeah.
Or he was using the wrong key?
He was clear. I sent the picture. You could look at it in our group chat. Yeah, it is clearly a car key. It's not a regular key.
Right.
I feel like it's got to be intentional, just because. I mean,
100%. But it still doesn't it's totally some zany shit. But even so, I feel like it just works to their disadvantage instead of their advantage, because it messes up
reality.
It's misinformation. It's
basically. Yeah. I don't know.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Okay.
No, those
are really my gripes with it. That's pretty much all I have to say. I thought it was fine. Yeah. And I thought everybody else can talk about it now. I'm
Brad Pitt and Francis I think Brad Pitt and Frances McDormand are the two, at least most relatable characters in this one. For me, Frances McDormand for sure is super relatable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the more I just watch George Clooney too, the more I'm just surprised at how much I like everything he does. His character is so crazy in this one.
In this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. He's fabricating that mechanism, that pleasure machine. And Francis's reaction to that. So I was yeah. What? No,
$100 all in, except for the dildo, of course. They're expensive.
And I'm not what is it? I'm not properly outfitted to mold or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree that none of them are very likable. My first watch through, I think I felt that a little bit more. This watch through, I just appreciated the such huge swings that each actor was taking in each of their characters. I was just eating it up a little more this watch. Brad Pitt is fucking excellent in this movie.
He's so fucking funny.
His character is stupid as shit, but that's what makes the performance and the character great, But
when he's in the car with John Malkovich and he's tells him it'll spin your head will spin faster than the wheels on your
Wheels on your
Schwinn. He's like, you think it's a Schwinn?
Yeah. He's such a fucking idiot, dude.
Uh,
And he's like
God.
channeling some like true
security.
romance energy, you know, like his earlier kind of idiot roles are coming back
Yeah.
here. So it's nice to see it. George Clooney is really, I think he's like the second best character and performance in this. Like everyone's like so selfishly minded, but that to me
Yeah,
it works
definitely.
together. Like he just gives like all he cares about is like catching a run. You know, like and I don't know,
Yeah.
like,
Sex and catching a quick run.
hey, I can catch a
Yeah.
quick run maybe.
Yeah.
Just going through the cast, I thought Malkovich was like really welcome and kind of like a necessary role in the movie. Like his wild side provides kind of like the backbone for what the zaniness can do in a weird way for like his acting and his character.
hmm
Tilda Swinton mostly just playing to her strengths, and then Frances McDormand was the only character that didn't fully work for me this time.
Okay.
I think the character works. I think maybe just the performance or like Frances McDormand didn't like fully nail it, or maybe somebody else could have like.
Yeah, I feel that.
I could see that.
I feel like she was like leaning too much into like Fargo-ish, like the way she was talking and kind of being sort of, I don't know, what's a ditzy, I guess is the word I'm
good word for
sort of looking for, where I think it could have just been kind of more detached from that role. But I did feel that this watch through specifically was that McDormand was kind of like the anchor that kind of drug it down a
I
little
guess
for me.
like if there's a weak link, performance wise,
Yeah.
it might be that
Yeah.
one. Even though Tilda Swinton doesn't do much in this movie, but
she's like the most hateable character for me.
I'd say so.
It's like this woman is vile.
Cold was the line that gets used twice.
Cold-hearted bitch or something like that. Do you think George Clooney's character, he came to that, like, this realization that maybe he's just into cold-hearted bitches,
I
or
think he just, he's like relishing it all. Like he doesn't care, you know, like.
after she says it directly after his wife said it, he was just kind of like, what? Hang on a minute. Yeah. That's good. No, I really like this watch through.
I did actually like how the CIA we're keeping tabs on all of these people and they're just like trying to figure out the situation. I did actually kind of enjoy that.
What a little
scenes
line.
with J.K. Simmons.
Yeah,
what did we learn here? I don't know. Yeah, me either.
So get back to me when I don't know when it makes sense.
It makes sense. That line's so good.
Yeah, no,
what did we do? Like, isn't he asked like, what did we do here?
That like sums up the movie to a T too, which is like really what it hit home for me. I was like, yeah, this movie, absolutely. It's like a nothing movie. Nothing really happened. Nothing gets resolved.
Yeah.
But
none of the even the conflict like amounted to anything. Like it's just like stupid,
with the Russians and stuff, and
just, they don't even care about the disc after a while because it's like not even an important disc. Like that's Coen, like that's Coen brand, you know, is like miscommunication leading to like violence,
all this
and
chaos,
confusion, So this one I think holds a pretty sweet spot in the catalog. Honestly, this watch through it amplified it for me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because when you buy, like the first watch was very off-putting, so like I kind of get where you're coming from, Joe. Like when I first watched this, I was just like, I don't know about that one. Didn't like the turn it took. Obviously, halfway through, that one like was quite a taste in your mouth, I'd say. But like after like coming back to it a few years later, it's just more fun and more like you're more on the ride. But
yeah. I think also just like I've said it before, I think the Coens are just not. They're like not what I like to watch. Yeah. I don't think like there are some good movies in here, but like
just wait till Buster.
I don't know. I feel like to be honest, they've been making me depressed.
Yeah, I mean, there is not a lot of growth in their movies. I don't think.
I mean, it's all fucking. I mean, it's all nihilism. Like, it's all fucking depressing. Like,
the next one is the most depressing one, I think.
Oh, yeah, I had a rough time watching that one for sure.
See, are we slipping into the next one, or?
Sure.
I mean, I got maybe a few
what else? What else?
Comments.
Yeah.
I mean, the stupidity of the movie is obviously the highlight for Burn After Reading, but the dialogue, if you like listen to it or kind of like dissect the order that things happen. There's a lot of like subtle stupid moments with all the characters, especially with George Clooney. Just like when
It's
I
the
wrote down,
anaphylactic shock.
yeah, he's just like
Oh,
making that shit up and like
Yeah.
eating
For no
shit
reason.
after it.
Yeah.
That's right,
And
after
then-
eating the sushi. Okay,
No,
Andrew.
He's like running. He gets like stopped by his wife or whatever, and he's like, "Has it been 5 miles?" She's like, "It's been 5.2." He's like, "Okay, well, if it's 5.2, that's fine, as long as it's been 5 miles." It's like little intricacies of like how the
We can
lines
5
play
and a
out.
deuce.
Yeah, 5 and a deuce. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And like the fucking roll he does when he's like getting the gun to like point it back on the dude he just shot in the fucking head. It's just like
Yeah.
that one's
So
a little
over the
more on
top.
the nose, but there's definitely like a lot of like subtle, dumb moments in this
Yeah.
that
Definitely.
elevate continuously throughout.
Yeah, the fact that they rip off the tag to the suit and that
Dude,
that becomes
he's got
like
nothing in his wallet. It's just like
Yeah.
adds to the mystery, but it's also
Right.
perfectly encapsulating of that character.
One of the funniest parts for me was when Brad Pitt was stretching out that guy. Something snapped. Something just snapped in my ass.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt just running on the treadmill, fucking like fist bumping and like fucking like.
When he's dancing
It's
in
a
the
little
car.
A lot of subtle things in this movie. Just like this is a comedy. Weekend at Bernie's did not make me laugh. That made me depressed. Going into this, nihilistic as these movies are, like even Serious Man, I laughed more in that than Weekend at Bernie's. Like this, in its own way, it's a very funny movie.
Yeah, for
But-
sure.
I think I probably did too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just started getting angry at the main character in Serious Man. I was
Oh,
like, this guy.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll get there for sure.
But
For
yeah,
Burn
no,
After Reading though, like the sweet spot I'm talking about, I think it like this is really their only like political movie. You know, like they're trying a different like setting and a different like
This
approach.
and-
Like
Hail Caesar are pretty similar, I would say, in what they're trying to
Yeah.
convey.
I could see that. Yeah, a little bit. Like yeah, it'd be a fun one to watch and compare for sure.
Mhm.
But it's just like especially like the like push in from like outer space, like we're a satellite looking down on this situation, like that to me that reads like government watch and like we're obviously in like a government scenario.
Mm.
I think it
Big
played
thing.
yeah, it played like really well to their strengths instead of like I'm just like thinking like the man who wasn't there where they're like trying to do their shtick, but the setting isn't really amplifying it, if that makes sense, you know? Like
Mm.
it's just kind of it is what it is.
Yeah.
Mm. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
It really like melded well. And like I was thinking about if they even pushed harder into satire, like Doctor Strangelove, it might even yield like more results if they like went political
Yeah.
and went really for it, you know.
What really worked with this is the chaos of it all and the mismanagement of it all, and I think that goes hand in hand with our wonderful government. Yeah,
Yes, right. Like
I mean
Bullshit.
the J.K. Simmons scenes alone, just that's like the epitome right there. Like, come back to me when it makes sense. Yeah,
and they don't
This is
even
what they
know.
do as their job.
and like all these people are dying. A man one of their own guys axes a guy in the street, and they're like, so it's all cleaned up. He's in a coma. Cool. Yeah, like
Yeah.
close it.
If he wakes
Yeah,
up,
keep
you know,
going.
we'll deal with it then.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think it just works in this setting. That whole concept and
does.
idea. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
And then like the addition of like Brad Pitt is such like the wild card in the movie. Like, just the idea that he thinks blackmailing like a CIA agent is like a move is just like
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, and he doesn't even like really know how to go about it too.
Yeah.
You know, he's so out of his depth that it's like,
I did notice.
shit.
I mean, they obviously do the Chekhov's gun with George Clooney pretty early on, where it's like, I'm a U.S. Marshal. I haven't fired my gun in 20 years of service. You know, like he keeps
Mhm.
saying like he's never fired his gun.
Yeah.
Dude, that was fucking
And
wild.
it whips out at the
Hey.
moment. Yeah, it's yeah. It does
Like,
foreshadow
I
his
was
death.
not expecting that at all. But yeah.
Did you see
Wait,
the
when does
paint?
it for the
It's
what is
only
it?
The
like
paint?
a visual foreshadow. I noticed this time. It's the paint. Yeah, right on the
Yeah.
wall outside the gym. It's like white wall with like a bunch of like red pink paint, kind of like. and he's,
I
like,
saw
freaking-
that.
And this
It's
time.
yeah, that was the first time I noticed it. But
Yeah,
definitely
saw
like-
that this watch through, and I was like, oh, it's coming.
Oh
yeah,
shit, that's
Yeah.
kind of
That's
interesting.
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what a wild turn, dude! And just like the I mean, the Brad Pitt of it all is great to like lead you in, but then it obviously ends the scene with George Clooney like running down the stairs and like getting a knife and like wondering who the fuck is in his house or whatever. Like,
Oh, shit. Dumping a body straight in the bay.
the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh, God.
Dude, and poor old Bob, man. Poor old Bob trying to like
He's
do
just
something
trying to get
good.
some ass.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
I think you do feel some of the like the Coens like going into their bag of tricks for this one a little bit with like the George Clooney being followed by a car. That was like Big Lebowski-esque, obviously, where it kind of comes in every once in a while and then he confronts the person at the car and it turns out it's not that related. But
Yeah, let me look at my notes. I haven't actually, because I did write down a lot of like connections to other Coen Brothers shit, I feel like.
And the final note I have is like this one moves really fast and doesn't overstay its welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Felt that this time for sure.
Yeah.
Great pace. Like,
Yeah.
this,
Really
I'm
short,
pretty
too.
sure this and Weekend at Bernie's are pretty close to the same length. And this is just a great exercise of how to pace your movie, and especially if it's a comedy about, silly bullshit.
Kind of interesting. I actually gave both those movies the same rating.
My God, man.
Well, yeah, for Burn After Reading, I originally had it, I think when I first watched it, I gave it a 3, moved it up to 3.5, and I think I'm going to give it a 4-star rating this time, honestly. It's
Yeah,
one
I
of the
think
better
I'm at-
Coens.
I'm at like a 4.5. Every time I watch it, I just kind of enjoy it a little bit more. It's a fun movie. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
good.
kept it.
I
I
like
kept
it.
it at 4. I think it's just a solid one. Yeah.
It's like when you compare it to the Coen's other shit, like
Yeah, that's the
I've
big
been kind
thing.
of surprised at how much I kind of like don't really like some of their stuff we've watched already, where it's like
Yeah.
kind of like mid, and this one stands out a lot more as something different.
Yeah, I've been surprised by that too. I for some reason I was like, oh, Coen's like they can do no wrong going into this. And now I'm realizing,
I don't know. I kind of felt the opposite. I felt like this was just like repeating a lot of the same shit that they've done before, and they just kind of mashed it up into like basically the same kind of story type.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're kind of just like, again, nihilism and infidelity are your main themes. Those kind of like motivate the characters, and it kind of just starts off with a miscommunication, which is like most of their movies.
It kind of ends like Big Lebowski S2, where it's like a huge act of violence with the main characters that lead to like a death, and then just like characters at the end being like, well, now we're moving on, like, which is, I don't know, that's kind of the Big Lebowski ending structure too.
I gave it a 3.
works for both.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I like it. It's maybe someday. I don't know.
Yeah, give it another chance down the road.
That day is not today.
Yeah.